Happy anniversary Quick Works series. So if you didn't know, the Quick Works series is a replacement for the daily shorts that I used to make on the channel. The reason why I stopped making shorts and started making these more long form YouTube videos is because shorts in truth were limiting at the time, and they're still very limiting. I think the limit now is only 3 minutes, and sometimes QuickWorks videos go on for way longer than that. The main purpose too for the daily videos is because I have a lot to say about One Piece, and I like to think that people listen to these in the background when they're getting ready for work or for school, or on your commute to work or school, or at work during slow periods or what have you. With that being said, a few members of my Discord, the Digital Burrow, link in the description below if you are on the red play button app, were asked about their favorite thumbnails. And today I'll be talking about a few of them, as making the thumbnails has been one of the funner parts of making the videos. So before we start off, I just want to give a brief rundown for the whole editing process of these thumbnails and the videos in general. So outside of any anime or manga sources, everything was made by me in-house. The avatar, the animations for the avatar, the video formatting, the music was made by me, and the thumbnails were generated by me. I have a program installed locally on my machine that allows me to generate images via the use of AI. So I don't use any third-party websites in order to generate the images for my thumbnails. That's all installed locally on my machine, because I know many people over the years have always asked me, what do you use to generate the thumbnails? Who is your source? I'm the source, as I always tell them, because I have a program that allows me to do that. Now, another thing, the avatar that I represent myself as is a centipede. It's not ovaries. People keep calling me over. I'm not ovaries. Okay? I am a centipede. I have made a very, I guess, abbreviated version of a centipede, and there'll probably be a new avatar in the future. But for reference, I'm a centipede. That's why my name is Polypede Works. Polygon Centipede Works. That's why I'm called that. I just want to clear that up, because so many people call me a talking cervix or something like that, which didn't bother me. It's just funny. But no, I'm not a cervix. I'm not ovaries. I'm a centipede man. I am a bug man on the internet. That's my whole spiel. Okay, so in terms of the thumbnails themselves, I generate the image, whomever that is, and then I do the rest of the editing in Photoshop. Now, why do I choose One Piece women for the most part? The reason why is because I like women. Women get clicks. But also because One Piece has such a cool and diverse cast of women, and a lot of them really are my favorites, like Sandra Sonia. Love her. I love Boa Hancock's sister more than Boa Hancock. And I think if Marigold was how she was when she was younger in the present, she would make Hancock look like a hag. I'm just saying. Shots fired, I know, but I'm just saying. But yes, the reason why is because it's beneficial for the channel, and I like them. And the reason why Nami is used for a lot of them is because, well, Nami's a main character, and you can put her in so many different outfits, and she's naturally eye drawing because she has this bright red hair. So she's a no-brainer in a lot of situations. But normally my creative process is that depending on what the subject of the video is, I choose the nearest female character to that subject and either have them dressed up in a particular outfit or their main outfit if that is in tandem with the subject of the video. So that leads us into our first thumbnail, which is the video in which I'm talking about Frankie and why I think his nose is made of metal. The whole point of that video was that I think, at least in part, Frankie is meant to be a joke on the whole lifeguard persona of the 90s and late 80s, because what they would do, and you see this in SpongeBob too, but what they would do is put white sunscreen on their noses, and that sunscreen is made of a zinc oxide compound, and zinc is a metal. So I said, okay, since Frankie has a metal nose, this is probably some sort of joke or meant to be a joke. So on that end, I dressed Nami up as a lifeguard, a la Pamela Anderson from Baywatch. And I thought that would be some cool composition because you have the blue sand background giving homage to Frankie, of course, with the stars in the back. And then you have Nami in her red singlet, along with the word lifeguard Frankie in red, all being very complimentary and giving you a very distinct feel. But to continue, and shout out to my Discord mod Mini, because one of the thumbnails that was suggested for him feature his favorite character, Ulti. Now, Ulti usually comes up when I'm talking about a Yamato-based thing and I don't want to use Yamato, or a Kaido-based thing and I don't want to use Yamato, because she's the next best female, in my opinion, other than Black Maria. But of course, now, based on where the story is going, she is way more important than Black Maria. So, one of his favorites is one that was debuted recently, in which I talk about how no actual devil fruit turns you into a traditional dragon in One Piece. Everybody's either a drake or a wyvern or what have you. And those are all the fruits of the dragon fruit family, of which Ulti has one of, or her boss, who has the fish fruit model Azure Dragon, which also turns you into a very long drake, because the Azure Dragon in One Piece really isn't a dragon. The only natural dragons are, of course, the experimental dragons that Vegapunk made and the dragon that we see in Monsters. But the reason why Ulti is dressed up like Koala in this thumbnail is because I think Monkey D. Dragon is the holder of an actual dragon fruit that turns you into an actual dragon. So that's why you have Ulti, because she is a dragon fruit user, dressed up as Koala, because Koala is the most popular female, I think, of the Revolutionary Army who is in Bello Betty. So yeah, that's why we have Ulti here dressed up as Koala. The reason why the background is green, because I thought that would be a very nice compliment to the picture mostly being made of pinks and reds. And then you have, of course, the words "no dragons" on the side, being pink, because that's going to be a very stark contrast to the green background, making it stand out from afar. So that's why that's constructed in the way that's constructed. Had a lot of fun making this one. I'm happy it turned out as well as it did, because the hardest part to get with Ulti is the face mask, and sometimes that will just go belly up and I have to go in and actually fix it if it's a good generation. But yeah, I enjoy all the ones I make of Ulti. Another really good one is the one from SBS 111, because the black latex fit that I gave her is just clean. I like it a lot. And I thought the black would go really well with a pink background, because of course, you know, Ulti has pink streaks in her hair, so it all comes together. And there's also like this weird white streak in her hair. I don't know what that's about, but that's why the SBS 111 itself is sort of this blue-white gradient to give homage to that, so all the themes present blend together in an appealing way. But she still stands out a lot because she's wearing all black. I do like how her face mask came out, though. It looks really classy. Makes her look like a secret agent or something like that. Like it a lot. Speaking about secret agents, I made one for Stussy. I'm a big Stussy fan. I think she's going to be one of the strides in the future. And this particular one is called Night Vision, in which I make her look like Black Widow or something, right? So the reason why I put her in tactical gear is because I'm talking about how her night vision would be very, very beneficial if she had the role of lookout on the crew. And it gives her a bit of a Night Stalker, Splinter Cell kind of vibe, seeing as how she has that ability. And seeing as how, too, she can see in infrared, of which we get to see in the anime, she's a perfect fit for sort of this tactical stealth position. And of course, in being a former member of CP Asia Zero, she's used to being undercover and being a secret agent of sorts. But if you notice, Stussy has a Straw Hat Jolly Roger patch on her arm, just signifying how I think she'll join the Straw Hats in the future. Next, we have another Stussy themed one, but Robin is here too. This is a rare occurrence because I usually don't have two characters in the same thumbnail, but they are cosplaying as Morgan Ashland from the video game series Darkstalkers by Capcom and Lilith from that same series. The reason why these characters were chosen to dress up as these other characters is because Morgan and Lilith are succubi, and the whole point of the video is just talking about how Robin and Stussy have very odd similarities, as both of them have become succubi in one way or another due to the powers of the flower fruit. Robin has attained a very demon succubi-esque transformation in her fight against Black Maria, and of course in being the user of the bat fruit, Stussy, and I guess her hybrid state or just pulling the wings out, she looks like a succubi, and she actually feeds on men during her transformation, which is what succubi are known for doing. So yeah, that's why they are dressed in this way, and the thumbnail is how it is, with fun little cartoon bats in the background. In keeping up with our Capcom video game theming, we have the giant wrestling video in which we have Nami dressed up as Capcom fighting game character Rainbow Mika, or R-Mika. The reason why Nami was chosen for this particular video is because she is the only Straw Hat whom has a homie under her thumb. And the video in question is actually about Goldberg and his homie Shield Nash, whom are named after real-life wrestlers who fought each other in a big event. The reason why Nami is dressed up as Rainbow Mika is because Rainbow Mika is a wrestler who is then under the tutelage of another wrestler in Street Fighter V. So that's the long and the short as to why the thumbnail is how it is. The reason why too R-Mika's outfit was chosen is because I love the blue up against Nami's orange hair, and of course the background is orange as well to complement the blue in Nami's outfit, and of course the blue and cyan lettering of Giant Wrestling. Moving on to another Nami one that involves Zeus, we have Battle Tested, in which Nami is dressed up as Marilyn Monroe, in which her dress flies up during that famous movie scene. The reason for this is because I thought the fluttering dress would be a great homage to Zeus, seeing as how he's a big white cloud, and Zeus is the main subject of this video because technically he is the most battle experienced Straw Hat on the crew, as he has over 60, nearly 70 years of battle experience because he was a very early homie that Big Mom created. So I thought that would just be really fun. Of course, Cloud invokes the feeling of wind, and with the white dress and it fluttering up, you kind of get the whole idea of a cloud being casted by the silhouette of the dress, if that makes sense. And then, of course, Zeus is being overlaid in the background. And this time I cheated a little bit because I went for a more magenta red just to make things pop, of which I thought would be pretty cool, as Nami would stand out regardless thanks to the white of the dress against the very stark background that is magenta. But in talking about white clothing, we have the Buggy's Fault video in which we have Hancock dressed up in a mixture of her own outfit with some various clown-like motifs that are homages to Buggy, because we have the vertical stripes that remind me of Buggy's horizontal stripes, and then we have these little wristlets along with gloves, giving you a air to a clown theme in a way. And of course her hair is in tails because Buggy's hair is almost always in some sort of tail, either twin tails or a ponytail of some sort, etc., etc. But of course the background is in magenta, which matches Hancock's belt here, and a bit of the pink fur around the edges of her outfit. And then of course the lettering is in a sort of orangey yellow, almost gold type of color to complement Boa Hancock's earrings, but it also pops against the magenta background. But off of that, we now have one of the more interesting ones that did get changed. It's called Spooky Anime. And the reason why is because the anime for the first time did something that felt like a Mandela effect to me. You see, here we have Robin in a blue biker getup with a skull motif on her shoulder. Now, most of the outfit doesn't really matter, but the skull motif matters because the Mandela effect in question revolves around Brooke. Because in the manga that is accompanied with this anime episode, there were spoilers when this chapter was about to come out, stating that when Robin and Brooke were under the effects of Black Maria's weird illusion mist, that much like Robin, Brooke saw people from his past. Some were from the Rhubarb Pirates, and others were people in weird armor, which is why, too, Robin in this picture has a shoulder pad on her arm, invoking the feeling of armor. But what's weird about this is that when the manga chapter came out, it was only Robin who saw people from her past, not Brooke. However, when this was animated, out of nowhere, we got this whole lengthy segment of Brooke seeing Yorkie and a bunch of people from the Rhubarb Pirates in his vicinity asking him to play a tune on the piano. It was so weird and surreal because I remembered this being a distinct thing that was supposedly leaked, but it never happened. So that's why I always say, whenever Brooke is around, keep an eye out for people in armor, which is coming more and more to fruition as we move forward in the series. But we'll have to wait and see. And speaking about Mist, we have a Perona one in which it's for a sleep time video in which we have Perona in a striped nightgown draped over the thumbnail, taking up most of the space, as one piece of sleep is sprawled out in very soft pastel colors, mainly made to be a compliment to her hair and her skin tone. So the reason why the nightgown is the way it is to give an homage to Kumasi, because Kumasi is blue and white and has vertical stripes throughout his design. So that's mainly the reason why. And the reason why she was chose for this sleep video specifically is because when she astral projects, her body is in a sleep-like state. So that's pretty much the long and the short of that. With that being said, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed my whole process and how I make thumbnails. I hope you enjoy what I have to say, and I appreciate you all as fans, and thank you for supporting the Quick Work series, because it was a gamble, but it's been doing very, very well, and I appreciate all of you who view me every day. It really does mean a lot. With that being said, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede Works.